Good morning. If you want to see how we made these 3 foldable, lightweight camping tables, stay tuned, because that's what we're going to do today. Well, welcome to another Memphis Monday. Memphis Monday 355, 43rd week of our 7th year. Today, we're going to build some camping tables. The story is, I built some camping tables several years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, but they were too heavy, and the legs to store them. You had to take the legs off and then screw them back on with hanger bolts and this and that, and wah. I want just lightweight, convenient tables that are low duty. We're not putting any weight on them. They're not under any stress. They're just to hold stuff up off the ground. And we want them pretty tall too, like 37, 38 inches tall. Well, anyway, let's knock off the chit chat and see if we can get to work. I built a prototype on this because I've been designing it for a few days. This is a prototype. One of the features is it's got handles on both sides, so you can easily pick it up and carry it. And the legs just click out, no fuss, no muss. Got a handle here to pick it up with, and that's all she wrote. Okay, let's flip it over and take a look at it. Here's my little drawing. The legs are 35 inches long, and they overlap here in the center. The tabletop is 48 inches and 24 wide, and here's the 2 handles. The main top of the tabletop is, I'm using 3/16 inch laminate. Now, I've already made changes to this. Let's look at the prototype and I'll show the changes I made. Well, here on the prototype, you can see how the bottom's arranged. One of the things I'm going to add is I'm going to add this centerpiece here, so that if I have to, I can move the handles towards the center. The change we're going to make on this, attaching this, is on the prototype I didn't use any glue. I just put staples in from the other side, but we're not going to have any fasteners coming through. What we're going to do is attach these boards directly to the underlayment using glue, and then the frame boards here will be held together with pocket screws. Okay, let's get started. I have 3 different assembly stations here. Now, what I gotta do is cut and prepare the pocket holes for the cross braces. The lengthwise braces are already cut to size, but the lateral braces need to be cut. I need to cut 9 of them. Now, I'm trying to make the tables identical, so I'm going to cut all the braces at one time using the stop block here. Now, what I've decided to do is assemble the frame independent of the top and go ahead and put the whole table together without the top. And then I can set the table up and put the top on right side up and clamp around the edges real easy. So let's try that. So the next thing we're going to work on is the legs. These legs are too small. They're only 1.25 inches. We're going to stretch the legs out to 2 1/8. We're going to keep the thickness the same. So I'm doing that all on the thickness planer. Here's the stock for the legs. It's already cut to width. This is 2 1/8. What I'm doing now is I've got to take 1/4 inch off the thickness and doing that with a thickness planer. Now ordinarily, when you put this brace between the legs, you cut out a little mortise and inset it so it's flush here. This is the right way to do it and the best way to do it, but we can't do it on our project today. Let me show you why. We want our legs to come down flush so that the table lays flat when you store it. And so we need to keep this brace with enough room so it clears that leg. And let me show you the problem that causes. So one thing leads to another. And so we want this 90 degrees to be lined up with the edge of the leg, which means we don't want this leg to be rounded over in this position. We want the rest of it to be rounded over, but not right here, because we want this to sit flat on the wood. Let me show you how we're solving that. Okay, I've got all my legs laid out here on the table, and you can just barely see that line, 2 lines. And that is the place where our cleat is going to go across. It's 2 3/4 inches. It's going to cross like that. So when I run this thing through the router, I want to stop the router when I come to that line, and then I want to restart it over here and leave this part flat. Let's give that a try. Okay, before we go prime time, we'll do a little practice piece here. Here's my 2 marks. So I'll run it through like this until that mark lines up with this mark on the deck. Then I'll pull it away, come over here and line this up again, and then continue. Seems simple enough. Let's give it a try. Now you can see I have this flat place where my cleat will go right across there. All right, let's give it a whirl on the real deal. And you notice here, I've got squiggly lines on that indicate the bottom of the legs because the front and back are different. The flat place here for the cross brace, it has to be on the outside, and it's down from the center. Center line's right here, and then that brace goes right here. And then on the other side, there's another flat place for the folding bracket that goes. So knowing where the top and bottom is important. And now we got to ease the edges here on the very bottoms with the sander, so that I can't fool myself. See, I got the bottom of it marked. Well, we've discovered a lot of things here that we changed. And here's one that's really interesting I'm going to show you. I think I installed these braces upside down. I always thought it seemed illogical to have to lift up on these clamps to get the leg down. Here's why I decided to install them this way, because this bracket here goes all the way down flush with the frame, so that when I pull the thing around, the leg is right against the frame. But this is troubling right here. You got to lift up on this thing. It's really awkward. So this is how I think it's supposed to work. I install this leg here on this bench. Instead of lifting up on this little handle, you push down on it. And the force of pushing down on it actually moves the leg. So then the leg just goes down. So anyway, that's one of the things you learn. Okay, let me go ahead and install these brackets on the rest of these legs. Got a whole bunch of them, 12, and we'll be on a roll. Well, I got the brackets attached. Now I'll show you how to line them up on here. First thing I do is put them where I want them, and then put one screw in the front. And now, since I only put one screw in it, I can rotate it around till it's square here. And then in the back, I'll put these two back screws in, and that will stabilize it where I want it. Now when I open it back up, I got 3 more screws to put in. If I can hold on to them, having trouble holding on to them because my fingers are greasy. See, same technique here on the other one. Only have one screw in there, so I can adjust this So I got clearance between the two legs when they fold down. Now if I lift it up, okay, now I'll put the two screws in the back to stabilize it. It's pretty funny. Pretty funny, here I am trying to act like an expert on these hinges. And I'm the guy that just installed them. And I'm the guy that just installed them upside down. Okay, let me get the other two legs on here and we'll be on a roll. Then the last thing we're going to do under here is put on the handles. We could probably do without handles since really you can grab the legs here and hold the thing. Or you can just move the handle to the center and get the same effect. You wouldn't need two handles. But we want to go whole hog here. I got to increase my chances for camper of the year, because I haven't been doing very good in the competition. Now you might be wondering why we're not putting the leg braces on yet. And the reason is because we need to put the top on first, because the top is going to flatten the thing out and it's going to change the shape of it a little bit. And so we need to do that after we get the top on. I've been practicing over here before I show you how I do it. I'm going to make sure I know how to do it. So I already installed one here. What I got, I used all my small clamps and put cleats down on top and sandwiched the joint together. Because notionally I'm not going to use any fittings on this thing, any mechanical fasteners, so I need a real good joint. Here are the cleats I'm using to press down on this top. Okay, now we can put the let's put the top on the other one. So the first thing I gotta do is kind of sand this off and get any squeeze out of there and make sure I don't have any misaligned joints, so that my top fits flat down on this wood here. And I also want to make sure I get all the dirt or anything that's left on there. Okay, it's just all cleaned up, vacuumed off. What I'm going to do now is apply a liberal dose of glue. I'm about out of glue. So now the top goes on. And then putting these cross braces on, just a matter of measuring up the distance you want to come. Make sure it's the same on both, on all four legs. So in case you want to put a shelf under there, you know, it'll be level. Well, it's about going to do it for Memphis 2355. You know, these things are functional, but I don't like the looks of them. I may not even put any finish on them, but they work pretty good. The legs extend real easily. Got carrying handles. But they just don't look right to me. They're not pretty. I know I'll always say, overall I'm pretty satisfied. Well, in this case I'm not. But sometimes you get the bear, and sometimes the bear gets you. Well, sometimes you get the bear, and sometimes the bear gets you. And while those tables they're lightweight, functional, you know, they work as tables, but I just think they're ugly. Vote down in the comments whether or not you think they're ugly or not. I don't even know if I want to put any finish on them. I sure ain't gonna put my name on them. Anyway, like, favorite, share, all the stuff you do on the internet. But most important, make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along. If these things do have any aesthetic qualities, it's in the simplicity of the design, the rugged simplicity. Nothing to break. Everything works, and it functions as a folding table very easily. No tools, no brains needed. Then the whole thing can be picked up with this handle here. Well, I'm ambivalent.